Successful kids there.
Yeah.
Thanks. Well, Andrea and I, every once in a while we knock on wood and go, hey, we
did
for
it.
all those, we
Winners.
didn't mess it up too bad, I guess.
Welcome to The Leadership, a business-focused talk show brought to you by the Vested Group.
We talk to entrepreneurs, employees, thought leaders, innovators, dreamers, disruptors,
and even our own children about what makes us tick on and off the clock.
Welcome to a new edition of the Leadership Talk Show brought to you by the Vested Group. You can find out more about us at thevested.com. My name is Hillary Patterson, and I'm here with my lovely co-host, Johnny Zielinski. And we have the good fortune of being able to interview Terry Cole this morning. Welcome,
Good
Terry.
morning. Hi.
Terry.
Yeah.
Nice to see you guys
And
today.
I'd like to point out right from the start that your socks match your shirt. They are Vested Group purple socks. Yes.
These are my favorite work socks. So
yeah.
can't have a bad day if I'm wearing my Vested Group purple socks. So.
And you pulled it off, the match. Pretty impressive.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you noticing.
So I didn't want it to go unnoticed, for sure.
A lot of work went into this.
All right, so we'd like to kind of just start off on the story of how you found your way to TVG.
It's actually a pretty good story. So Joel and I worked together on a project. I was the client. Joel was actually the consultant when he was with Arthur Anderson at the time. This was a little ways back. And so we knew each other from then and hadn't really seen each other or spoke for 20 years maybe. And so a few years ago, I was doing some independent consulting and trying to decide whether I wanted to continue with the independent consulting or kind of go back and start, working for somebody else again. And happened to be out on LinkedIn, and a job posting popped up and it said somebody you're networked with is related to this job, and there was Joel. And so I thought, hey, let me just kind of see how Joel's doing. I hadn't seen his name come up, and so sent Joel a little message and reminded him how much he messed up that project for me back then. Now that's a joke. He did a great job. And so messaged him, and he said, hey, I'm looking for something and maybe this would work out. And so he said, Jennifer Polk will be in touch with you. And she was the next day, came in for an interview, and 2 weeks later I was employed at the Vested Group. So it all goes back to that Oracle project that Joel I was the client for, and he was the consultant.
Yeah, I remember he told me that, and I was like, that is crazy.
Yeah.
I think it was like the very first project he ever did when he out of college.
It kind of seemed that way.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'll just pass that along.
No,
yeah, that's great.
He did a great job.
How long ago was that you started at the Vested Group then?
So it'll be 3 years, I think, this month or next month maybe.
Oh, so you're only a little bit before me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there was that wave of us that we were super busy, lots of new projects, and that wave of us that kind of all came on around the same time. There's, within 6 months, there's a bunch of us who have that same anniversary date. Yeah.
I know.
We just overtook 15th Street.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes, that's
back
when
to
it was
back.
very, very crowded.
Okay, well, tell us about your family, your wife, kids, and kind of some background on where you grew up. It's kind of a broad question, I know, but
Sure.
dive in.
So I was born in Philadelphia, and I grew up in suburban Philadelphia and New Jersey. Moved to New Jersey when I was in high school. I went to Rutgers in New Jersey. That's where I went to college, and that's where I met my wife.
Okay.
So, and Andrea, my wife Andrea and I have been married now for 31 years. She's great to put up with me for that long. Obviously, she has to be doing something right and super special. We have 2 children. My oldest, Megan, lives here in the Dallas area now. She's an electrical engineer. She works on defense missiles for Lockheed Martin. She's the bright one in the family.
Wow, yeah.
And then I have my youngest is my son. He's 24. He's a hog. He's a Razorback, and he is in the Royals organization. He plays professional baseball. So I'm really fortunate that we're all still super close. We get along, and I'm very, very lucky to have kind of the family that I do. So.
Really successful kids there.
Yeah.
Thanks. Well, Andrea and I, every once in a while we knock on wood and go, hey, we
did
for
it.
all those, we didn't mess it up too bad, I guess. But I think what really is special, and we were all together over the weekend, is just it means a lot to me that I have those relationships with my adult children, and we're all still, we still all enjoy spending time together, and they even though they have their own lives and they're really independent, and like you said, I mean, we're proud of what they've accomplished. It means a lot that we still have good we're still close, and they still want to, they don't mind spending time with us and bringing over their significant others. So it's definitely one of the things I'm most proud of and that I enjoy the most.
For sure. I got plenty of friends that like see their parents like once a year. I don't know how they do that.
Yeah, that's a little rough.
Yeah, so that's awesome that you guys are still
Maybe
so
they call
close.
a lot. So no grandchildren yet, though?
No grandchildren yet. So Eric is engaged. He'll be getting married in November. So that's the closest we're going to get. So maybe sometime in the near future, but no grandchildren yet. But we're really excited about the wedding in November, and they're kind of all in that planning mode, and we're trying to whittle down the guest list and figure
You're
all
gonna
that
blink
stuff
and it's
out.
gonna be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will be in a blink.
Where's
I
the
know they
wedding
feel
gonna
that
be?
way. In Fort Worth, they found like this neat little. It used to be like a machine shop, but then they converted it into an event center, and they're going to have the ceremony and the reception there. It's really pretty. It's pretty nice. I was a little skeptical when they first told us about it, but we went and got to see it, and it looks like it'll be a really special place for them. We're pretty excited about it.
Sounds neat.
Good one. Yeah. No, actually, those things are pretty cool. Actually, when they're remodeled, nicely updated, and everything. Yeah.
And we're really lucky. She's a sweetheart. She's Mariah's her name, and she's just a really, really sweet person. And so excited to see them kind of start that next chapter.
That does sound fun. All good things.
Yeah.
Good story.
It'd only be bad at the machine shop if they were like, still working, and they're like, you need to be up by midnight. That's when the night shift comes in.
In the background, you see the sparks. You know.
We were, when we went there to see it, we're kind of talking with the owner, and he talked about his, like, I asked him, what was this building before? And, he explained it. And I just thought, I mean, he bought it when part of it was kind of deconstructed and everything. And I thought, just, how did you have like the vision to be able to go, it's just kind of broken down the old machine shop and then to turn it into an event center. So I was actually pretty impressed with his ability to kind of see that and see that it could be something beyond, besides that, and then turn it into that. And pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. Okay, so a little bit of a different turn, kind of. We, as a joke, always try to describe, what a consultants do. But our question is always, what would your mother just say that you did for a
What would
living?
my mother say
Yes,
that
how
I
would she
did?
describe your job?
Well, she wouldn't have any idea what I do. So she would say that I have a lot of meetings and a lot of calls. I spend a lot of time working with clients, specifically trying to help the Vested Group get new business and bring new clients into the fold. That I do a lot of reviews. Spend a lot of time doing reviews these days, and just kind of in general, a lot of different responsibilities to help the Vested Group kind of get better and streamline our process every
Is that what
day.
you would say you do, or is that what she would
No,
say?
that's what she would
Oh,
say.
that's good.
That's
then.
pretty good, yeah, I
accurate to say.
know.
I mean, that's reasonable.
Yeah.
What would you say you do?
Yeah.
I say I do a lot of different things. I think mostly what I do is I try, we've got a great team, and I just try to help support them in doing the best job they do every day, get better, service our clients every day better, and really just I try to focus on setting the team up for success. That's really whatever that means in a given day, whether that's, spending some time meeting with somebody, supporting them on a client call, helping them to, resolve a problem or get some resources. It's just really trying to enable them to do the best job that they can, because they're the ones good at what we do, right? They're the ones that know NetSuite. They're the ones that have all the the skill and the expertise. So I just try to help them do the best job that they can,
Kind of
which means a lot
consultancy.
of different things
Yeah,
on different
yeah.
days.
That's probably not a good elevator pitch, though. Yeah, but
Not a good at personal elevator pitch.
yeah. Well,
I'll work on it.
yeah, next time. Next time.
I appreciate the feedback.
All right, Terry, why do you come to work? Aside from a paycheck, what gets you going in the morning?
That's a really good question. So, I mean, first of all, it's been, the going to work and having a career is all about kind of supporting my family. And, I've talked about how lucky I am and how special that is for me. But just having the opportunity to kind of, to do the work that I do and have a career, and then all the things that it's enabled us to do as a family, right? Put our kids through school, go on trips, just have a nice place to live. So, I mean, first and foremost, it's just that, right? It's about providing for my family. But then from kind of a work perspective and what makes me come to work work every day and enjoy it is, I mean, here I've never worked with a group of people that I've cared about and been so impressed with. I mean, it's such a talented, intelligent, energetic, committed group of people, and it gives me energy every day to come in. And I mean, you guys have had all these different people on your show. You know what people are like, right? You get a sense of what the type of people that work at the Vested Group are, and I'm just amazed every day. Somebody just inspires me every day, whether it's what's going on in their, and we got people that are going through great things personally, right? They're having children, they're getting married, or they're doing different things. And so, I mean, it just really, I just come to work because I get, that energizes me every day. It makes me, it makes me feel excited to be part of the company and excited to know all those, unique, cool people. So it's kind of that simple.
It always circles back to the people. I like it. I mean, it really is just it's the only right answer.
No.
So I didn't do too good with the elevator pitch.
No,
but
good.
I kind of.
You did get the right answer, yeah.
1 point to Gryffindor.
Funny. Okay, so maybe when you were a kid, you wanted to be, like project management and like helping with like
that's
stuff.
what I dreamed of as
But
a 6-year-old.
did you have any other jobs that you wanted when you were younger?
The only thing I can really ever remember kind of thinking, I want to be that when I grow up, is I wanted to be a hockey player. I wanted to be a professional hockey player. You know what young boy at some point doesn't think they want to be either a baseball player or whatever? And I grew up as a big hockey fan, and so I wanted to be a professional hockey player.
So did you just translate that to baseball for your son? I mean, you just live farther south, so.
Yeah, I tried. He, the first thing that he ever did from a sports standpoint was hockey. Had them all. We've got pictures of them all geared up and
Could be
ready
any
to,
kid,
ready
all
to
that
go play. He was all excited about it, and he got out on the ice the very first time and dropped his stick and couldn't pick it up, and I could not get him to go back out there. It still haunts
rough,
me.
man.
Still haunts me to this day. But it's worked out for him. Okay, his
guess
choice.
so.
Yeah.
His choices. He's as he'll tell you, he's made pretty good choices.
Yeah,
for
he's happy
himself,
with that, yeah.
Despite all my coaching and advice.
That's funny.
So yeah, wanted to be a professional hockey player.
We have we tell everybody on the show, we have a big split down the line between professional athletes and doctors. Someone in the medicinal field, but then we have a few outliers here or there. But for the most part, we got a lot of athletes at the Vested Group.
I think I'd feel a little bit better if it was something something like a doctor or whatever. But
First hockey player though.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
I can skate really well too. So
Well,
I mean,
that's
that
something.
is a talent.
Were
Harry
you-
Hawk over here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Were you
sorry.
there for the curling?
I was not.
Oh.
I don't know. I think I was here when we did the curling. I think I
Yeah, it
was
hasn't been that long
employed here,
ago,
but
yeah.
for whatever reason, I wasn't able to attend.
So how convenient. The one thing that we do on the ice, you can't make it to.
Yeah.
I would have lit it up though.
You-
Of course, we weren't on skates, so I don't know how relevant it is, but
all right. So you've been with the company about as long as I have. What's your favorite tradition so far?
What is my favorite tradition at the Vested Group? I think that I really enjoy the daily huddle. The opportunity to kind of just connect with everybody Monday through Thursday, once a day, just for 15 minutes. Really try to make it an environment where people can not only talk about what's going on at work, but just, if they had something exciting that happened, they're proud of something their kids achieved that weekend, or they had something going on. So just to share what's going on with people's jobs every day and what's interesting that they learn, but also to get a chance to hear a little bit about what everybody's got going on personally. So that 15 minutes we spend as an entire team together every day, I get a lot of value out and just enjoy. I might not talk to somebody for a couple of days, so just the fact that I get to see them and talk with them every morning is something I enjoy.
Absolutely. It is fun. You guys do any I've joined the Invested Huddle a couple of times just for fun, but do you guys do any trivia or anything like that?
We haven't gotten into too much trivia. Ryan every once in a while will share his yoga mantra with us, and that's always getting some insight into Ryan's brain is always
Love that guy.
insightful and interesting. But no trivia. No, we don't have a Trivia Tuesday or a theme Thursday, but maybe we can get there.
You better be careful though. You get in trouble if you make that thing too long. You know.
Yeah, people will start whining.
Tight
You got
restrictions,
stuff
yeah,
to do.
yeah,
15
exactly.
minutes, that is it.
That's
Cut it
it.
off.
You'll get.
But that's part of what makes it work. Is it's it's just quick in and out, and nobody it's not too much of a burden on anybody's day, but gives everybody a chance to just say hello and connect.
Yeah, it's just, like Mimosa Mondays, you just have to go so fast.
so fast.
Sometimes it's too cold. Just problems. We'll figure it out. We're smoothing it.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna come up with an alcohol theme for every day. I think you can do it. Tequila Tuesday.
There you go.
Yeah.
Whiskey Wednesday.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we can.
And then just Thirsty Thursday, bring your own.
Yeah.
Whatever,
Excellent.
whatever
Look,
you
you're
like.
on top of this. Yeah. It's just,
Your
this
drink
is-
of choice.
Got big ideas, Terry. I like this.
You can have Friday free.
We'll go ahead and mark
You
that
do-
question right.
Exactly. Check. Got one more.
Still working my way back. Whatever that question was.
All right. So, what do you wish people knew about you? This could be like work, private, whatever. Just
Yeah.
people watching this. What would they not expect to know? Maybe.
I scored 13 goals in a college intramural hockey game once. I always wanted to be able to share that with everyone.
Did they not have a
Working
goalie? What is
conversation.
that?
It's a pretty proud moment for me.
Wow. Yeah, that
No,
was.
I think we've kind of talked about it already. Just I think the thing that kind of describes me most is just the caring that I have for my family and the people around me in general, whether it's work or home. I feel really, really fortunate with the things that I've been able to have in my life and the people that have surrounded me, and then my family, and then to get to work here. I mean. To be married for 31 years and have really good relationships with my children, and like you said, children that I feel like they've grown up to be good strong independent people, and they have good values, and I try to take that to work every day too. I think that kind of that sense of family. Well, I mean, we're not a family at work, obviously, right? But that sense of kind of commitment to one another and building trust and loyalty and to be there to support people is probably it drives me a lot. It drives me at home. It drives me at work, and so I think that's just something that it's a big part of who I am.
Well, I do feel like you kind of dropped the ball with your opportunity to talk about your interest in 70s and 80s mysteries. Yes, TV shows. Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The classics. Yeah.
Adrian
That
would
can
tell
work.
you how much she loves that I watch the old TV. And 80s music too. I'm a kind of, it's not just TV. I'm a big music fan too. So
That's
actually,
funny.
Donnie knows a little bit about my interest in music.
The TVG Music Channel, we discuss that stuff all the time. I want to back up for 1 second. That you scored 13 goals on somebody.
I scored 13 goals. Yeah. That was really a joke. I did do it though.
No joke there.
Yeah, I scored 13 goals in a college intramural hockey game once.
I just know some guy out there on the flip side of this is like also getting interviewed. They're like, "What do you wish somebody knew about you?" He's like, "Well, one time some guy scored 13 goals on me."
I was so mad.
Did anybody else score any other
Yeah.
goals? Was it like 20 total? Because that guy had a bad day.
The other team was not very, very pleased with me, but it was I got egged on by my teammates, and it was a big deal at that moment in time. The team that I played on in the league, it was pretty competitive, and people took it seriously, and we played in the same gym all the time, and there were literally like records kept like in this bulletin board in the gym, and so there were all these records, and there was a record for most goals scored, and so I was having like a good night, and they were like, you just gotta go for it when you have that chance. So they're just feeding, they're just mercilessly, shamelessly feeding me all night long, and so. Yep.
Oh, I could have been
Big
there for that
moment
one.
for Jerry.
Wish I'd been
My
there.
intramural success was I played inner tube water volleyball.
That's not a thing.
Yeah,
That sounds awesome.
yeah. It was really fun. I didn't actually know that there were real intramural sports. I thought they were all.
Oh,
Yeah, made up ones
They
that
have
were just for
football,
fun.
softball, basketball. They do
Yeah.
it all these days. Bowling. You're actually looking at the 2009 University of Arkansas intramural bowling champion. So
Wow.
Holy
yeah,
wow. Yeah.
autographs after the show, please.
It
So
was about me.
inner tube water volleyball, not
Hillary and I
so
get
you
into
guys
our
missed out. Yeah.
past glorious.
Yeah.
Speaking college bowling, my wife Rutgers, they had intramural bowling, and they had these really, Rutgers has been around since the 1700s, and they had these really old bowling alleys where they would have intramural bowling, like on campus, and they didn't have the automatic pin setter.
Oh, wow.
So it was a job
Oh my
to
gosh.
set the pins for intramural bowling. So one of Andrea's first job was as a pin setter for intramural bowling.
That seems dangerous. Like,
With all those
A little early.
the golf cart guy that goes around, like,
around.
pins up the balls. I mean, it seems like people might potentially try to,
Can you imagine like setting the pins?
I can't actually.
I think it took a while, too.
Yep.
Some obnoxious person bowling's like, come on,
Yeah.
let's go.
It wouldn't be easy.
$3.50 an hour. set pins for
Who knew?
the college intramural bowling league.
Brutal. All right. What do you enjoy doing when you're not at work? You heard the murder mystery things.
Yes. So watching some classic television, that's one. It's really important to me to kind of stay healthy and active. So I like to do anything to stay fit. I run a little bit, work out a little bit. I enjoy to read. I really like to read historical fiction, especially, is kind of my thing, and also kind of some guilty pleasure, political thriller kind of stuff when I'm really just feeling feisty. And spending time with my family, spending time with my family, obviously. And then we were talking about, I love music constantly, whether when I'm working out or just hanging out in the backyard or whatever, constantly listening to music. And before the state of the world that we're in now, I still really enjoyed going to see live shows and things like that. Actually, one of the last live shows I saw before everything happened was with my daughter, which is cool to get to go see, a show with your daughter that we share music. But Hannah and Reese were also at the same show as us. So
Who'd you go see again?
we went to see Beach Bunny at Club Dada in Dallas. It was so much fun. I mean, kind of a small club and a little punk rock show, basically.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was great. And
Terry and Club Dada. Yeah. Who'd
It was
think?
fun.
Then-
Reese was Hannah's fiance, was so impressed. He was like, "Man, I want to be you when I'm that age, going to a punk rock show with with my daughter." So I got to impress Hannah and Reese, and Hannah actually was the one who turned me on to Beach Bunny, and I still absolutely love them. They were by far my favorite band of last year.
That question will be marked as correct.
Okay. Hang in there, man. You're turning it around. You really are.
You're on a streak.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're on fire.
Means a lot to me.
Okay, so it's generally too, what would you say is the funniest thing that's happened to you recently?
Well, it's kind of comically funny now, looking back on it a little bit, but we had the whole Snowmageddon a few weeks back, and so we were one of those unfortunate people that lost power for a pretty decent amount of time. So we woke up, and like I said, it's funny in hindsight. It's not
Retrospect.
funny at the time. But we woke up Monday morning, the power was out, and so we heard rolling blackouts. So we thought, okay, this is just going to be a couple of hours, right? Well, the power didn't come back on for 2 days. Woke up in the house on Tuesday morning, and it was 38 degrees inside the house.
Yep.
It was 0 outside. Andrea and I were, we were sleeping in front of the fireplace. We had like a little, kind of a little bed area made up, and then so obviously that was uncomfortable, but we were doing okay. Tuesday night, the power comes back on. We're all excited, and by the time we go to bed, it's a normal temperature in the house. We're thinking, hey, we got it made. Wake up Wednesday morning, a pipe burst.
Oh
I was
man.
gonna say, could you keep your pipes from freezing?
I thought we were doing okay, but wake up Wednesday morning, we got water all over the laundry room and the garage floor from a pipe bursting. So trying to get that all sorted out, and then I looked outside, and a little sliver of the door, like the blinds in the door, are open, and we had let the dog out, and I could see the dog outside, and he goes towards the pool, which he doesn't normally ever do, and kind of puts his head down, and then all of a sudden goes in through
No.
and I'm freaked out. I'm in like my bare feet. I run outside. He's just sticking up his little sad face,
Oh my God.
sticking up out of the pool. He never has been in the pool before. He's scared of it, and so I was able to like grab him by the collar and fish him out. And so in the middle of, we got water all over the place. It's it's whatever temperature outside, he falls through the ice, and I rescued him.
Comedy of errors,
I
right
know.
there.
I'm glad you can look back and laugh at that.
It was such a crazy week, but compared to everybody else and all the damage people had, and then other people who were obviously not as well off as us that had a decent place to be. We were pretty fortunate out of all of it, so that's why I say I can look back on it now and laugh about it. But man, when he went into the ice, holy mackerel! And I kind of joke, it's really my son's dog that we've kind of adopted, and we never had a dog before, and Andrea loves this dog like you would not believe, which is just crazy because she was never a dog person. And so I kind of joke about all the time about how much the dog drives me crazy, and I don't like this dog lifestyle and everything. And I got to tell you, when he went in, like the adrenaline that shot up, and I was like shaking afterwards for an hour, thinking that that something really could have happened to him. So I have been forced to reconcile my love for Yogi now, as much as I hate to do it. Yogi is the dog's name. So that was watching him go in and then racing out there in my bare feet. I was ready to jump in. I mean, if I had to, whatever it was going to take to save Yogi, I was all in.
I've heard that happen to several people, that their dogs fell in just because it was the first time they'd been able to walk on it. Although I guess he won't get near the pool again, so that really cemented that.
He was fine an hour later, and I'm telling you, he does not like the pool. I'm not making this up. When we during the summer, we put on like our bathing suits, he literally goes and runs and hides. He's afraid of the pool, but for whatever reason that day, I don't know if it was the ice just kind of got him curious, or he was confused or whatever, but he just kind of dipped his little head in and went right in. But he's fine now. He still goes around the pool, and I think he would have learned, but no.
Glad you saw him. That's just...
The crazy thing is, there was literally a spot about this big was all of the pool I could see, and I just had this angle where I could see, and he went in that one spot. If he didn't go in there, I don't know if he would have went in one other area of the pool, I have no idea what would have happened. If instinct would have taken over, and he would have said, "Hey, I never swam before, but I better figure out how to do it now."
Well, you can't be able to get out, right? There's like ice,
So, tragically comic, but no dogs were harmed in the making of the story. I
Good to know.
Appreciate that, Terry.
Good to know. Happy endings. We all about that, yeah.
All right. We walk out of this interview today. There's a lottery ticket sitting on the ground. You win $15 million. What are you doing with it?
I'm going to cash it first.
Okay.
So I take care of my family first. Make sure that they're all kind of set for a while. There's a lot of things I would want to do. So I definitely would like to travel and use some of that money to travel, and I'd really like to do some more volunteerism, like start some kind of foundation. There's a lot of different interests that I have, and things that things we benefited from over the course of our lives, that it'd be great to take some of that money and then the time and the energy to be able to commit to that. So I'd really, I'd like to use some of that money and that time to do that. And then I think I'd like to write a book. I'd like to write a historical fiction thriller memoir.
Cool.
Wow.
Yeah, and you just kind of fund yourself along the way, yeah?
So a memoir, but it would be fictional, and it would have something to do with history and a little thriller.
Do you have a time period?
A little thriller thrown in there. It's a good question. I haven't thought about what time period I would want to put my historical fiction in. I don't know.
You have to think about that one.
Pre-Civil War kind of era U.S. maybe. I'll have to think about that one.
I'm gonna say there's a lot of options, right?
There's a few.
You got me intrigued with that one.
Okay. Well, I just you're gonna have to put my credit there in the book when you finish it. All right. So if you had to pick one song to play when you walked into a room, or every room for the rest of your life, what would it be?
This is like a dream question, because we talked about my son playing baseball, so they have walk-up music in baseball, so he literally gets to do that, and I have for years always tried to get him to let me pick his walk-up music, and he never would. So,
no Baby Shark? Is that what,
exactly.
So if I had to pick my own, I'm going to go with like a serious choice here. So
we're ready.
There's a song by Audio Slave called Cochise, which just has this amazing guitar, pulsing, cool walk-up music kind of thing. So I always just thought it would make a great baseball walk-up song. So I'll take that as my walk-up song.
Have you been able to talk him into trying it?
He likes country, and so it's a lot of country stuff for him. That's just not good for him, but
Not your walk-up.
not my thing.
Yeah.
You were on a streak too. We're gonna have to mark that question incorrect. Just kidding. You're like, what did I do?
Pass fail though. Don't worry. You're good.
Not an audio sleeve.
No, I am actually. And I'll tell you a good story about that after the interview. If you were our CEO tomorrow, Joel, just disappeared, or handed over the reins to you, what's the first thing you would do?
I would just continue to do the things that Joel has done, and I sincerely mean that. I would continue to build a team of really exceptional, talented, committed people, and then work hard every day to help them to be their best selves and help them to do the best work that they can for our clients. I think that's what makes the Vested Group special. I talked earlier about what makes it awesome for me to come to work every day, and so I'd try to emulate and kind of keep doing what he's already been really successful at.
I can't argue with that. We're all happy.
Yeah.
But that would, you'd also give you a chance to really just finalize that Mimosa Monday, Tequila Tuesday,
yeah,
Whiskey
yeah.
Wednesday. Like, that's your choice now. You can just set that in stone.
And another whole chapter in your book.
And you're doing those reviews.
Memoir.
Yes, yeah.
While I'm doing my reviews.
Yeah, exactly. Between meetings and calls.
My team can tell you it's apparent I've been drinking a lot when I've done my reviews. So.
All right, Terry, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hillary, Johnny, thanks. It's been fun.
You're a busy guy. I know you are, so I really appreciate your time. We love having you here.
Thank you.
For those of you watching, thank you for joining us. You can find out more about us at thevested.com or watch more of these episodes on YouTube. Just search The Vested Group. Appreciate you watching. See you next time.